What will the Giants do with 6? I mean, you can't really. Do they really want to invest in Daniel Jones?
I thought that they would try and move heaven and earth to get to 3. They were another team that I had, I think Drake, but I think if somehow Jaden was there at 3, I think either one of those, I think they would try and make that happen and just try and convince the Patriots, like, hey, you can come to 6. And if you wanted to, like we were talking earlier, if you want to take J.J. McCarthy, here, we'll give you, you'll get some picks from us, and then you won't get out of J.J. McCarthy range. Try and sell that versus Minnesota having more, sizzle to sell with the 2 first-round picks in this year's draft. But that would be an interesting decision for the Patriots if that were the case. And I know they've done homework. The people that I talked to around the league did not expect the Giants to be a J.J. McCarthy team. They were more of the top 3 guys. That was their line. And if they couldn't get those top 3 guys, then they would roll forward with Daniel Jones. But when you've done this much homework and it's all out there that you've done this much work on all of these quarterbacks, I don't necessarily buy that. I had due diligence. I don't know if I buy that.
Daniel, wait a second for what I'm going to say, because I promise you there's a segue. Okay. I have said for decades and decades and decades that I think I would be a phenomenal spy. And the reason I note that is about a week ago, I saw that the CIA is hiring or looking to hire new recruits. Now, I'm not saying they have to be spies, but, we are talking about the CIA. What I find as one of the most impressive things you do is glean from that which is shared with you what is factual, how people are trying to mislead you. Are they seeding you information just for the purpose of misleading? I mean, you've got to be, in many regards, a phenomenal spy in determining what information is accurate and what is misleading. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But I also want to tell you the problem with what the CIA is doing. They would require you to do 27 push-ups and 18 pull-ups, or vice versa, in a minute. So that was a challenge for me. I don't know that I would make the recruiting. But, all teasing aside about the CIA, and by the way, CIA, we know you're listening, so I'm not really a spy. But in all sincerity, I think one of the most phenomenal things you do, and your work is tremendous, your predictions are tremendous, you've got to glean and you've got to parse through what is accurate information and what is seeded for purposes of misleading you. How challenging is that?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned over the years that a lot of the stuff you get later in the process is the least accurate stuff, as everybody's trying to throw misdirection. I'm never going to ask. I have a bunch of friends as general managers. I'm never going to ask, hey, who are you taking? Tell me what you're going to do. Like, I'm never going to do that. That's stupid. But I try and look at the history of how they view players and who they like and what the team needs and try and put that puzzle together. And then there's other means to go about it. Like, I'll give you an example today. There was a coordinator for a team that's in the quarterback business, a newer coordinator who had interviewed for multiple jobs. So I called around to one of the teams that he didn't take the job or didn't get the job and asked, did he give you his opinion on the quarterbacks in this class? So I'm trying to work behind. How about when we have general managers and Tom's great, but I mean, if you think that I didn't call the Chargers to try and find out what the Chargers draft board looked like under Tom Telesco before he left to see if that gave me any inclination of who the Raiders might like, you're crazy. Those are types of things you're trying to just collect, information and try and learn different things. Sometimes you get stuff that's useful. Other times it's not, but that's the rabbit chase. And at the end of the day, look, I'm not Ian, I'm not Adam. I'm not going to, have all the information, but what I do like to do is once the pick is made, and I think this is where I love what we get to do with our broadcast with Rich, running point is we'll spend the time, we'll preview the pick, here's what could happen. We'll see what happens here, blah, blah, picks made. I think that our job, and hopefully we do a good job with this, is okay, here was how they framed the decision that they had, and here's why they just did what they did. And so all this information that you're collecting now helps hopefully inform that discussion once they get picked.
In other words, you're educating your viewers and your listeners with smart broadcasting, and also you'd make a good spy too.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.